Hello, angels. Welcome back. You know where you are. You know who I am. I know who you are, by and large, at least in a general sense. And we're still wrapping up the year 2025 as it was in music. And this is the first of the bulkier lists that I'm going to release. And so for that reason, we're going to jump right into it because I don't want this to take forever. Today, we're going to talk about my top 100 singles of this year, 2025. So to run through a few programming notes real quick, as usual, I'm sticking to one song per artist, or a handful of artists who had a particularly good year would dominate this list up and down. And I'm going with singles over songs. In the past, I had done separate lists entirely. Last year, I just did a singles list, and I think I'm going to stick to that, if only because I'm just one girl. I only have so much time to make these lists, and thinking about every single song I heard this year, Jesus Christ. So just for reference of what that would be like, here are just a handful of the deep cuts that would have made a list this year had I really hunkered down to do a top 100 songs list. And a quick clarification from last year that I think comes from people who don't really listen to the radio or have only really ever listened to music in the streaming era is that I'm still considering something a single if it was a post-album release, if it got a radio push, a music video, proper release and promotion after the album dropped. So there are a handful of tracks on this list like that, and that's why they're included, because they're singles too. Album cycles actually used to last a very, very long time, if you can believe it. And I think that's it as far as rules go. If the runtime looks daunting or the number on the list looks daunting, I know, like I'm not Pitchfork. There's no reason I should do 100, but I have an attachment to a lot of these songs. I have spent all year listening to them, understanding them, ranking them, and so even getting down to 100 was really hard. But with that being said, hopefully we're going to fly through most of this list and really hone in on the best of the best. But still, these 100 songs, they're great. I recommend all of them. And without further ado, my name is Lavender Alexandria, and these are my top 100 favorite singles of 2025. Getting us started is a real quick pair of collaborations. At number 100, a combination of sentimental self-reflection with wonky EDM on the Flume and Emma Louise song Easy Goodbye, followed at number 99 by the combination of underground rap maestro Rap Ferreira and producer Kenny Siegel teaming up for the ultra smooth Good Hustle. And that is followed by a pair of dramatic Baroque pop tunes at number 98, Chappell Roan getting sentimental about moving on the excellent track The Subway, and at number 97, The Last Dinner Party with maybe my favorite song they've made to date, the track The Scythe. At number 96, By Storm, formerly Injury Reserve, continue to push themselves in new directions to evolve artistically on the track Double Trio 2. Followed by number 95, where Stereolab proved that even after all of these years, all these decades, they still got it with the song Aerial Troubles. And at 94, Courtney Barnett with her peppiest, punchiest song in years, Stay in Your Lane. Then at number 93, we have the Antlers returning to their very slow building but ultimately dramatic and climactic formula on the song Carnage. Shifting into the mainstream for two very different kind of songs that ran up to streaming numbers this year. At number 92, Kalani scores one of her biggest hits to date with the wonderful R&B cut Folded. And at number 91, even though it wasn't a big year for Zach Bryan compared to the last few years, he did release a handful of singles, and this one, Blue Jean Baby, was my personal favorite. At number 90, Die Spitz introduced themselves ferociously with their blend of punk and metal on the intense Throw Yourself on the Sword. At number 89, Destroyer continues to be a beacon of sophisti-pop, even this late into his career, on the excellent Hydroplaning Off the Edge of the World. At number 86, Squid keep their post-punk intensity going on Building 650. Following that, at number 85, we've got Girl Brutal with a combination of catchy electronics and hard-hitting, pummeling distortion on the excellent Heather. At number 86, we have a long, dreary shoegaze cut inspired by the Palisades fires earlier this year. Here in LA, the Dive song, Return of Youth. At number 85, Street Sex return to grimy, metallic industrial music on the great Spitting Image. And at 84, Pulp kind of reintroduce themselves and get their new album cycle started with this sunny lead single, the song Spike Island. In hard contrast to that, we have Igloo Ghost making dance music out of industrial machinery on the Insane Excavator 03. And following that, we've got Super Heaven taking Hum's style of heavy shoegaze into a wonderful, vibrant new direction with Stare at the Void. At number 81, we've got Lana Del Rey, who, even though she lied about her album dropping this year, I'm not that mad because we did get this song, Henry Come On. And at number 80, Ty Segall keeps up his ever prolific series of releases with the classic rock styled infectious banger fantastic Tomb. At number 79, UK metal outfit Conjurer go, oh god,
The Verger has a limited release next week.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't know they had a release date for for that movie.
Conjurer go huge with their new single Hang Them in Your Head, and followed that up immediately with the much gentler singer-songwriter track from Kate LeBon, the song Is It Worth It. At number 77, we're talking Turnstile, who released one of the more divisive records of this year. At the very least, I loved this specific single, the track Seeing Stars. At number 76 and 75, we have cheeky guitar rock taken in two very different directions. First with the ultra cool Water From Your Eyes track, Life Signs, and then with the extremely dorky cheek face song, Growth Sucks. At number 74, we've got one of the best house and dance songs of the year, the Sofia Cortesis track, Canela Pura. And at number 73, Addison Rae shows just how high her high points can be with Fame as a Gun. Next up, we've got a pair of indie cuts, starting at number 72. Even though I didn't love this new Big Thief record, I did really enjoy this single, Incomprehensible. And at number 71, the kind of inverse of that, I loved this new Beth's record, thought it was really solid, and this single, Metal, is one of my favorite tracks from it. Next up, we've got a couple of deep cuts or like unexpected releases to land on the list, starting at number 70 with Origami Angel dropping what might be the pop punk song of the year, Back to Life. I have never really been a huge Origami Angel fan. The last album they released, I outsourced it to a different reviewer, but god, this song is just so infectious, so instantaneous, so delightful. And similarly at number 69, Courting with this song The Twins, which was a single for their deluxe edition of their new album, but honestly, I liked it more than almost anything on that record. I think this is such a precise, perfect, inspirational return to 2000s dance punk. The song just grabbed me immediately. I think it's irresistible. At number 68, it's going to be Car Seat Headrest with get the long one, the long single, the one that's like, you know. Followed at number 67 by Silvana Estrada with the beautiful, gorgeous Good Night, Good Luck. And at number 66, Burial continues to fuse ambient music with sort of EDM and dance music styles on the huge, multifaceted, wintry, but gorgeous Coma Fields. At number 65, Home Is Where continue to work the sounds of country and folk music into their emo stylings on the excellent single Migration Patterns. And at number 64, Jason Isbell with Bury Me, not one of the most raw or confessional moments from his new album, but a song that set the tone for this very stripped down, very focused style that the new album takes for its very confessional content. At number 63, Blood Orange continues to look like a glimpse into a progressive future of R&B with the delightful Something in Between. Followed at number 62 by another example of dry cleaning's dreary, above it all post-punk with the great song Hit My Head All Day. And at number 61, very much more on the straight up punk side of things, the righteous and raucous Sprints song Descartes. At number 60, Amber Mark lends her infectious R&B styles to one of the danciest grooves I have heard all year on the excellent Let Me Love You. And at number 59, Backwash continue to show off her raw rapping abilities on the great song Ninth Heaven. At number 58, Frost Children bring together two worlds. They're really simple, repetitive, intense hyperpop bangers with their more sentimental side on the delightful What Is Forever For. And at number 57, Tame Impala, even though a lot of people, myself included, did not love this new record, I cannot deny how good of a fucking song Dracula is. At number 56, Perfume Genius stripping things down a little bit, but sounding as gorgeous and beautiful as ever on It's a Mirror. And at number 55, Scowl actually revving up their intensity a little bit, but matching it with pinpoint songwriting on the extremely catchy Not Hell, Not Heaven. At number 54, another lead single from an album that I didn't really end up caring for. That's the Chaim track, Relationships. Love this song, drilled into my head, even though I don't really care for the record. And at number 53, it's the Cheat Codes, rapper Black Thought, producer Danger Mouse teaming up once again for the song Up, and of course it's great. Flying into the halfway point of this list with several cheeky and a little bit off-kilter guitar indie rock songs in a row. Starting at number 52 with this great peppy, kind of woozy comeback single from Fourth Wanderers, the song 7 Months. And then at number 51, getting into a vibrant, punchy, playful push and pull from Gorilla Toss with the fantastic Psychosis Is Just a Number. And then at number 50, even though again I didn't end up loving this record, Tune Yards with the dancey, punchy, irresistible lead single from their new album, the song Limelight. Then at number 49, I gotta say it, I know it's not going to be popular, but I like this song quite a bit. It's the somber track, Undressed. I think this was among the best hit songs of this year, something that I'll talk about in a video soon. And then a much more familiar and acceptable opinion to hold at number 48. It's the clipping song, Change the Channel. This really intense, driving, momentum-laced cyberpunk rap song. It's awesome. At number 47, Preoccupations return with open arms to a sound of post-punk that they had strayed away from a little bit on the great song Focus. And then at number 46, Lucy Dacus manages to be really sentimental and really funny on a great love song, Best Guess. Keeping the singer-songwriter momentum going at number 45 with Alex G. Tell me if you've heard this before. A lead single for an album that I didn't end up loving. This time it is his track Afterlife. And at number 44, Jasmine 4T with this really earnest, really heartfelt, really vulnerable tribute to a friend that is basically being held by the government as a political prisoner. I really recommend looking into the fucked up story behind all of this and doing whatever you can to help. The song being I Can't Believe I Did This Without You, which also sort of serves as a victory lap for the amazing year that she's had. Next up, a pair of rap songs that at least see some artists that are typically on the more serious side having a marginal amount of fun. First at number 43, No Name with 100 Acres. It definitely seems like she's having fun with this one. I like this song a lot. The music video is worth watching if you have this idea in your head that No Name can only ever be ultra serious, but also this song just shows off her witty wordplay and her great eye for features. And speaking of witty wordplay, at number 42, it is Billy Woods teaming up with, again, producer Kenny Segal on the single Misery, which actually has some moments that feel a little light and a little tongue-in-cheek, even some jokes that he cracks, which did not set me up for one of the most insane, depressing, terrifying rap albums I've ever heard. And number 41, Beach Bunny with Tunnel Vision, a piece of pop punk bliss that I could not get out of my head all year long. And at number 40, Neela Furuyanya keeps her momentum going with a great new EP and this great single, Cold Heart. Next up, two of the funniest songs of the year at number 39, post-punk band Viagra Boys continue to be insane, but also irresistibly catchy on the hilarious, excellent Man Made of Meat, followed at number 38 by Jennifer with a tribute to a fallen legend. Of course, they're talking about old Grimes and how nice it is sometimes to listen to old Grimes. At number 37, it's Cola with Mendicant. I know I feel like I like this band more than anyone else in the whole world, but they just continue to release some of the most catchy and infectious, but also interesting and off-kilter indie music around, and I adore it. And then at number 36, it's Red Veil, but I'm actually going to go with the single Square One, which didn't land on his album, but it was by far my favorite song of his this year, a sunny piece of sort of autobiographical self-introspection that I just found irresistible. At number 35, Panda Bear delivers the sunny, summery, psychedelic, delightful Fairy Lady, and immediately after that, at number 34, Gorillaz with the genre-blurring, multifaceted The Manifesto, one of several singles that have me really excited for the upcoming Gorillaz record. I cannot wait to see what guests they deploy and the ways that they deploy them, because so far it's been excellent. Followed by two absolutely gorgeous songs. At number 3, it's The Weather Station with Airport. I surely could have included something from the Weather Station album that dropped earlier this year. One of those songs made my singles list last year, but yeah, just right at the tail end of the year a few weeks ago, we got two more amazing Weather Station songs, and this track, Airport, is, yeah, among the best ever. I mean, it's beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, at number 32, Sorry Girls with Ricochet, a gorgeous piece of indie pop with just the right amount of nocturnal flavors of gentle reverb to make everything just feel ever so slightly woozy and spacey, and yet it's also grounded around just such an earworm hook, such a beautiful, gentle vocal performance. I simply could not get enough of this song. And speaking of shit I couldn't get enough of, at 31, my fucking song of the summer, no question, and I never would have guessed this, but the Lil Tecca song, Dark Thoughts. Wow, is this shit awesome. I like this way more than anything from around Tecca's breakthrough a few years ago, and to hard contrast into something very different at number 30, it's experimental progressive black metal band Agriculture with their multifaceted but hefty Pummeling the Weight. At number 29, Rosalia recruits esoteric cast, including Bjork and Yves Tumor, to set up her new record in unwielding, dramatic, and absolutely irresistible fashion. And at number 28, Robin continues to prove that decades and decades into her career, she's just still so good. The track Dopamine, a down-the-line pop song, and yet one that is as adorable, as irresistible, as beautifully performed, and as mind-alteringly catchy as she has always been. Truly a legend that may very well still be in her prime. At number 27, post-punk meets indie rock with just a little bit of goth mixed in on the great Pile song, Born at Night. And at number 26, Caliuchis with an utterly beautiful tribute to her recently born child on the incredible song, I Love You So Much It Hurts. Entering the top quarter of the list at number 25, Little Sims and Obang Jayar continue to be an absolutely unstoppable combo on the excellent Flood. And at number 24, Tropical Fuckstorm with my personal favorite song of theirs to date, one that brings together their oddball sense of humor with their weird versatility and compositional shifts on the fantastic Dunning-Kruger's Loser Cruiser. At number 23, Wet Leg announced their return in style with the awesome indie rock banger Catch These Fists. And at number 22, Slater, shot out of a fucking cannon and serving on the momentum seeped single Cannibalism. Oh my god, this might be the best, catchiest, most intense song she has released in years. It truly a Mount Rushmore Slater track, like per Daddy as Fuck, Self Destruct, throw Cannibalism up there. I was just blindsided by how goddamn good this song is. And just outside the top 20, if you have been holding on to any like down votes or like transphobic comments, even like a Rotten Tomato, if you want to go old school and you've just been like waiting for the moment you can throw at me, Drake, Nokia, you know, one of the catchiest songs I've ever fucking heard in my life. That's all. Pivoting to something a little bit more agreeable, at number 20, we've got Underscores with the irresistible piece of like hyper pop dance pop, where she is just looking more like a pop star than ever before on the song Do It. And at number 19, Bon Iver brings together the naturalistic elements of the group's early days with some of the electronic experimentation of the records that I always preferred in their catalog, brings it together to do something really beautiful, almost whimsical in its lovely, lush sound and content. And that's on the song Everything is Peaceful Love. At number 18, One O Tricks Point Never continues to prove that he is a mastermind of sonic texture, assembly process, production, and mastering in one of the most insane sounding, just spirit elevating, beyond this world singles that I heard this year. Cherry Blue, oh my god, is this new Opium album so fucking good. Then at number 17, Ethel Cain, once again almost kind of flirting with her pop side, but continuing to be just as sort of askew as she always has been, just not quite as approachable as her contemporaries on the song Fuck Me Eyes, which wow, really hit me at first. I just wasn't expecting, after hearing Perverts and Nettles, the really dreary lead single to this record, I didn't think that we would ever hear Ethel Cain release a song this catchy again, this one that down the line just reminds me of her contemporaries that are, again, so much more aesthetically and compositionally approachable, but as she does it, she proves that she still does it as good as anyone. At number 16, we have Maruha with Look Down on Us. Really one of the thematic centerpieces of their excellent debut album, one that is lengthy and multifaceted, but all of these parts work together in service of propping up a really righteous, really inspiring tune, and the lulls are placed so effectively to set up the very best and most climactic moments on the track. Just excellent work here from the band. And speaking of, at number 15, it's Black Country New Road with For the Cold Country, putting to rest a lot of the worries that fans had about the band leaning into a sort of twee pop style that was not nearly as effective at conjuring really raw emotions, touching on really intense feelings. But that is exactly what this single did, and it turned out to be pretty indicative of an album that I think is better than a lot of people are giving it credit for. At number 14, Jenny Haval continues to be an innovator within the realm of singer-songwriter music, using smell and the way that it evokes nostalgia as a lyrical theme, a through line to tell stories of her past on the excellent song To Be a Rose, which turned out to be the lead single for a really excellent album that digs into that concept even further. And at number 13, it's the boy Danny Brown getting his fucking hyperpop on, this time teaming up with Underscores on the song Copycats, and wow, does April serve up one of the goddamn hooks of the year on this song. This shit fucking bangs. Just outside the top 10 at number 12, we got Model Actress with, I'll say it, their cuntiest song ever, Diva. Again, I have said several times about this record that even though I love the singles, it's actually the deep cuts that I think really make Pirouette what it is. But wow, is Diva a song that only Model Actress could have made. For a band that is capable of conjuring such visceral intensity on both a sonic and lyrical front, to be able to walk that tightrope and to make this song as genuinely suspenseful as it is to listen to is incredible. This band is one of a fucking kind, and I am obsessed with them. Speaking of one of a kind, at number 11, Deaf Heaven with Magnolia, continuing to hone their ability to interpolate the sounds of shoegaze and post-rock into black metal. But honestly, compared to some of their other singles and songs on their excellent new record, this track is... it's never down the line black metal, but this thing is fucking ferocious, vicious, intense, grueling, on top of the fact that it finds really subtle ways to deploy some of those other influences. It's amazing that Deaf Heaven, despite their last record being a little bit of a miss in a lot of people's opinion, have returned to something so awe-inspiring, so unique, so singular, and I just adore it. And we made it to the top 10. The songs I really want to talk about, the songs I have been thinking about all year. Let's fucking go. Let me briefly pitch you the idea of woke transvestigating. So like transvestigating is like when like conservative like Twitter morons like pull up an old video of JFK and then say that he's born a woman because of his like bone structure or whatever. We're familiar with this. So woke transvestigating. I can say all this, by the way, I'm transgender. Woke transvestigating is when you see in a celebrity or some kind of important contemporary figure of popular culture some warning signs, some similar experiences to the kind of things that a lot of trans people have before they transition. And it's not meant to try to harass them into transitioning. It's kind of an acknowledgement of just, you know, what's going on there. Are you seeing where I'm going with this yet?
Let's hear it for the band of the year.
Yeah, honestly, I've been really surprised come year-end list time to see a lot of people listing this new Lorde record as one of their biggest disappointments of the year. I guess I'll talk about it a little bit more in my albums of the year list, but what a fucking moment Man of the Year is. And I don't think you have to be like Lorde T-Boy Truther in order to appreciate this song for what it is. Its build is dramatic, is subtle, is patient, and yet it is extremely grounded thematically in the content that she is discussing. She continues to be unafraid to be personal in ways that some of the more polished and sort of industry connected and indebted pop stars simply could never get away with being, and that makes the ultimate rush that this song reaches just hit so much better. And I'm not saying that this thing is liability or ribs or anything, but it is a goddamn great song. Number 9. Do you remember the whole Parasite Foreign Films Award acceptance speech?
Once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.
That's how I feel when people tell me they don't listen to Natalia Lafourcade.
Cancionera, canta, canta librial.
Because listen, I don't speak Spanish either. Certainly not well enough to understand an entire Rosalia, Bad Bunny, Sylvana Estrada, Natalia Lafourcade song. However, that's what fucking reading is for. And reading translations of what these lyrics mean made this song Cancionera so much more vibrant to me because, of course, like so much of Natalia Lafourcade's work, it is touching, it is subtle, it is beautiful, it is immaculate. And yet, understanding the ways in which this is a love letter to the art of music itself just elevates everything so much. I wouldn't call a song about how much you love music a cliche, but it's certainly an idea that has been explored before. And yet on this song, I feel like it goes beyond a simple lyrical theme to really hit on every single element of this lush, beautiful arrangement, all of the performances, all of the amazing ways that is weaved in and out of Natalia's performance. And again, the ways that she sets herself up for these just instantaneously iconic, memorable, beautiful moments themselves all serve to reinforce the idea that this is a wholehearted, entire top to bottom love letter to music creation as a process, as an artistic vision. And the results are just delightful, immaculate, and extraordinarily memorable. So all summer long, we were kind of discoursing and debating about the whole Song of the Summer idea. If you're not really a pop music fan, then you may not know that this year was a legendary drought for the Hot 100. And one of the only big songs to break through this summer is the exceedingly forgettable and mediocre Alex Warren song, Ordinary. And that led a lot of people to declare that there was no Song of the Summer. However,
But everybody gets along just fine, 'cause the champagne tastes like elderberry wine.
again, a familiar refrain with this Wednesday song, Elderberry Wine. I didn't end up loving this record as much as I wanted to, but Jesus Christ, is this song everything that I could want from Wednesday personified. It is amazing the way that they managed to toe the line between being a rock band that is capable of conjuring some genuine muscle, but also so attached to the indie and folk roots of their style and the scene that it developed out of, and that is fully on display on this song. From the little bit of twang to the tenor of these vocals to the breezy instrumentation to the way it kind of bends and sways back and forth, it is intoxicating. It is so easy to find myself completely lost in the beautiful machinations of this song. And the fact that it is the song of the summer, while hilarious, is also a rousing endorsement of one of the best goddamn songs I heard this year. Number 7. Coming into 2025, one of the records that I was looking forward to the absolute most was a return from an artist who released one of my favorite debut records of the entire 2010s, a long-awaited proper return. And my hype was already through the roof, but man, it went into goddamn overdrive once I heard the first song post-announcement. I actually met Sputnik from Weather Day this year, and they know who I am, so I'm going to try to be a normal person in case they see this. But yeah, I've been a Weather Day fan for quite a long time, delivered plenty of Weather Day praise on this blog, and yeah, I went in with really, really high expectations to this new record, part of which was because I fucking loved so many of the singles, including the song Angel. And I'll just say, as much as some of the grand, compositionally expansive, lengthy Weather Day songs are amazing and beautiful, sometimes when Sputnik just locks in for like 2 minutes, they conjure up something otherworldly. I think it's hysterical that two of the best Weather Day songs are the like under 2 minute long title tracks to these two albums, but also this song Angel is not only beautiful, not only extremely driving and intense in its first half, but layered and kind of blissful in a kind of shoegazy, like radio department slow dive kind of sense in the haze of it all in the second half. But it manages to do those things and weave them together so well in such a short time span. It's like an adrenaline rush followed by just pure like relaxation, like dissociation. It's difficult to describe, but it's just amazing the way that these two feelings go together and reinforce each other. And I feel like almost any Weather Day single could go in the top 10, but I had to pick this one just because it was the first one to really just floor me from this new record. And yeah, I came back to it over and over and over again. So like any critic, there are a lot of artists that I have a long history of delivering relentless praise onto. If you've been watching my content for a while, I don't know, James Blake could come to mind, SZA could come to mind, underscores lingua ignota. There's a lot of them. But on the rap front, I would say most people who have been watching my content, in particular reading my blog, would point out one particular rapper that I am not only specifically extremely fond of, but also excited to just gush over at any given opportunity, from singles to albums to features. And let me just say, God, at number 6, was it a good fucking year to be a Pusha T fan.
Driven and very strategic. RM sleeve, no diamonds are needed. Floors are heated, so be it, so be it.
This Clips comeback is one for the ages, honestly, and it's crazy that I still don't love the lead single from this record, Ace Trumpets. There are just a few lyrics, not just the Yellow Diamonds lyric, like even more lyrics deeper into the record that I just don't really feel like are up to the pin game of Pusha T and Malice. And then they spun around and immediately delivered one of the tightest, best rap songs of this entire decade so far. This fucking beat is just unbelievable. No wonder that the album dropped and this sample wasn't cleared yet and fans threatened to fucking riot. Thank God it was restored, because this beat is unbelievable, and yet it's not even the most memorable thing about this song, because there are just great lyrics on top of great lyrics on top of great lyrics, from the ultra serious and confrontational to the completely bizarre and utterly hilarious. Incredible. This album being like a 20-year victory lap for Clips is already just stunning, and the fact that this single not only participated in but also added to everything that contributes to that victory lap, yeah, amazing. Number 5. Whew. I am gonna have to be careful with this one. For trans feminine people, and just trans people in general, it is a small transgender world, and earlier this year, a lightning rod of an album hit that world, an artist whose relationship with their fans, inconsistent, let's call it inconsistent, and I wrote a review of that record that was not shy about calling out the moments where this artist came off as a little bit entitled, and they saw that review, I'm told, didn't love it. But another thing that I pointed out in that review is that the album is pretty goddamn good and marked by a few crazy highlights. And while I wasn't completely head over heels for the 2 singles that led up to the album's release, but holy shit, the first post-release single, there's an argument that this is the best song of the year. Chain Remover, Chain Remover, Chain Remover. What a contentious album in Revenge Seekers. One where Jane throws kind of a hissy fit at fans who did not like the way that they switched up their style on the remarkable 2023 record Census Designated. And it comes off in a lot of different ways. But the moment on the record where all of Jane's feelings come into form in the best way, relationship towards fame, relationship towards music, relationship towards their own fan base, is on fucking Angels in Camo. One where, again, I'll use the word victory lap. Jane really feels on top of the world on this song, and it's a moment that is not only so necessary for the album, but so fucking intoxicating to listen to. Listening to this song is just like riding every bit as high as the thunderous, banging, jittery instrumentation and irresistible refrains laced throughout it. And honestly, even for people who were really annoyed by the attitude of this album, I kind of feel like when Jane lets their insecurities slip into the lyrics of this song, ever so slightly, just a bit, it actually goes even further to reinforce why this song is as hype as it is, and why Jane seems to be enjoying it all in this specific context as much as they are. Even bringing this album up is derisive, but one thing I will say is that I am accepting no half measures on the opinion that Angels in Camo is one of the best fucking songs of the year, and one of the best fucking songs Jane Remover has ever made. At number 4, I'll say it, I'm not too good for it. Sometimes it's fun to buck up against a trend, to be contrarian. I don't have to, you know, because this time around, I was early on the hit indie band of 2025. And even if you're annoyed at hearing about them, get used to it, because I would consider the Geese breakout not just deserved, but overdue.
I will break my own heart from now on.
2025 being the year of Geese is genuinely a better reputation than it deserves relative to the quality of music this year. Yep, a band that is inspired by so much, just a soup of so many different styles of rock going back decades as far as to just a few years ago, and wrapped around the kind of indelible rock star swagger of its frontman, Cameron Winter. Yeah, I think it's amazing. And I think this song is a great lead single because it shows off what the new record did so well, bringing together these sort of rock stylings of the previous Geese record with the real singer-songwriter intimacy and vulnerability that Cameron Winter developed on his also very excellent solo album. And when you bring those two together and put them at their most dramatic, theatrical, and anguished, you get a song like Taxes, and it's a fucking masterpiece. I'm skipping paying my taxes this year. I'm writing Geese on every form, and I'm sending it in. And that's all that I have to say about that. And number 3, one of the most epic songs of the year. It's kind of a miracle that this was even released as a single. I mean, if you want to dive into a blistering 3-minute long opening saxophone-led build to a dramatic sort of chamber singer-songwriter song, you know what? You're going to be jumping into the deep end, but man, is it fucking worth it.
Called the hospital this morning.
Struggle with the Beast is a perfect name for this song. It is just so dramatic. It builds up so momentum. It is so harrowing, and in a way that Anna von Hauswolf doesn't on some of the other songs on this record, she really lets herself cut loose as a vocalist, get gritty, get harrowing, get intense in the way that if you're familiar with her back catalog, you know she can. And the results are just mind-bending. I mean, this song is just unbelievable. It's amazing how good from like a production and mixing standpoint all of this sounds. Even its gritty edges are clearly, obviously in service of the darker, grimier edge of this song, which makes Anna's kind of cascading vocals just pierce through all of it in even more of a dramatic sense. I'm not saying that anything here has never been done before, but wow, in such a brooding and intense sense, this may be the best composition I've heard this year, because wow, does it all just weave together into something fucking brilliant. Number 2 is going to begin with a quick piece of Lavender lore. Actually, around this time of year, 2 years ago, I got the chance to interview McKinley Dixon, and he was hilarious, vibrant, gave me great material to work with, had a lot of really interesting answers about his artistic process, what had changed about the new album he released at that time. And one of the most memorable moments is when he talked about the influence of Blue, who he had just gotten on a remix. And he doesn't just cite Blue as an inspiration or as someone that he grew up listening to. He cites Blue as the reason he does this, all of this, like the foundation upon which McKinley's incredible rapping and writing abilities, and also his knack for bringing together really vibrant jazz instrumentation into the mix and managing to craft irresistible beats out of this and ride them so effortlessly. All of that was not just inspired by, but sort of foundationally began by listening to Blue. And so I guess there is more personal of an element to this than usual, but hearing them come together once again on an even more thematically involved song, it just stopped me in my tracks.
We tricksters by nature who once favored summer stars. Biggest steps on concrete, but still look both ways for them cars. Babies beating on their chest.
And don't get me wrong, this song is already amazing. Before Blue even gets onto it, McKinley Dixon over this vibrant, gorgeous jazz rap beat is continuing to retrospect on his own past and the ways that things could have been different. And it's so beautiful, that is such a common song topic in hip hop. But McKinley has this such a tangible connection to Blue in this sense that he had talked about, presumably before the song had ever even been written. And so the moment at the end of it when McKinley is literally referencing the real poster of Blue he had on his wall, and Blue starts rapping in character as that poster, talking about not only how happy he is at what McKinley has become, but also the ways that McKinley has in turn even influenced him to continue to elevate his game and to adapt his style. It's the best musical moment of the year. I mean, if you have all the context, this is one of the most beautiful fucking things I've ever heard in my life. This is just fucking amazing. It's just so rare that such a remarkable piece of conceptual vision manages to come to fruition, and while doing it, also delivering such incredible performances by everyone on all fronts, such vibrant instrumentation, which is present throughout McKinley Dixon's great record. It's just the sign of a one-of-a-kind talent to be able to not only conceptualize this, but to execute it. And for that reason, I think it's fucking brilliant. So last year, my number one song of the year was the Lorde remix of Charlie XCX's Girl So Confusing, and I spent a long time talking about why and referencing its place within popular culture. But that's not always the case with the best song of the year. Sometimes it doesn't really have to be this nebulous thing. Sometimes someone just writes something that is so beautiful, so gentle, so compelling, and so unique that it feels like the only place you can put it is right at the end. I just don't think it needs any more weight put onto it, because the song truly and honestly speaks for itself. There just doesn't seem a song more fitting to be my favorite single of the year than the Caroline song, Total Euphoria. When Caroline debuted a few years ago, I put them on my best debut albums of the year list, and I do like that record, but it was as much a sign that I saw so much potential in not only the talent of everyone involved in it, but their willingness to be a little tongue-in-cheek, to go to strange places, to try new things. And that's why I think a song as off-kilter as Total Euphoria is even able to exist in the capacity that it does. Because while this thing can sound ever so slightly strange or alien at points, it is still in service of amazing musicians writing beautiful compositions, arranging them in an immaculate way, and all of that is deployed with such perfect subtlety, such gentle nuance on this song that you may not even notice at first. It also has one of the fucking catchiest refrains I've ever heard in my life. It's another example of something that's just kind of amazing. It's kind of a miracle that all of this came together. These musicians, the talent that they bring, the ambition that they have, and the vision that they share, all of it so spellbindingly, stunningly gorgeous. It's kind of one of those songs that I don't really even care to ever learn about what it's doing in a technical sense, because I know what it feels like to listen to, and that's enough. That's the list. There it is. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for seeing it through. Go down in the comments if you want to tell me how much of an idiot I am for whatever song that I left off. Tell me what your favorite single of the year is. Tell me what's too low. Tell me why Nokia is too high. And I'm gonna hit the mines and immediately start editing this so that I can get to work on the next goddamn thing for the year-end slate. Thank you for watching. Kisses. Mwah. Caroline, Total Euphoria, Song of the Year. Good night.